Bella. Alright, welcome back again for another episode of MULW. This time it's the playoffs. Playoffs of the 2026 Tag League Tournament. Just 1 second here. Seeing if I can connect to my chats here and everything like that. First, there's Styles. He's here. He's here for the first round of these playoffs. This is going to be something, guys. Can't wait for the first round to start. This is the first round of the playoffs. This is going to be 1 sec, though, before I start this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first round of the playoffs for the Destination Tag League 2026 edition. Starting with Block A tonight. Main event, though, hell of a main event for Block B. Block B's 4 versus 5 matchup will be the main event. It will be Mr. Amazing and Yohei Oiwa of Shockwave, the 5th seed, taking on the team of Jericho Jones and Tay Cobra, who took the 4th seed. And there is Mr. Takeo Amore. We got my girlfriend here and Brandon Styles and Amore of the Iron Kingdom getting out here for this opening match for the playoffs. Blaze says he's the GOAT. Blaze, shut up. Iron Kingdom, this is their only team representative in the playoffs. Taylor's team did not get into the playoffs. They were 3 and 4. Still a decent showing by them. Booster and Drilla did not make the cut. They were close. They were actually tied for 8th place, but did not have a tiebreaker that they need over Amore and Buck Dixon. Blaze says, do I fight Perch? Blaze, I don't know. I'm not MSW. See, this is going to be the 1 and 8 match here. This, I tell you, the B block tiebreaker for the 8th place was nuts. I had to go through and watch a few videos just to figure out who gets the 8th place. Corey Crichton and Canolce Keshner got the 7th seed, by the way. They got the 7th seed in this tournament. And the 8th, you'll see who got the 8th spot, but it was very tough. Sadly, so the 8th place for the B block went to the Cuban Connection of Jose Cooper, Jose Cooper and Andy Mendez. The 2 teams, sadly, that are on the outside looking in are Madabu Soya and Zach York. They are, again, 4 wins, 3 losses, right with the cusp of the Cubans as well. And same with Andre the Giant and Giant Baba. Ooh, I tell you, those tiebreakers, so close than each other. All those teams tied in points. Neither of them actually had bid matches against each other, so they had to go to the other tiebreakers, and sadly it went to the Cubans. Blaze says why? Blaze, shut up. But here we go with the first match of the first round. Block A's 8th seed, the Iron Kingdom of Takeo Amore and Buck Dixon taking on the first place team of the A block, the powerhouses of Masakatsu Funaki and Baron Von Farkas. Farkas and Funaki, an amazing team. 5 wins in this tournament, 2 losses, won 4 in a row. And then lost a match and then won against Marcus and Jake Lee. That basically secured them a first place spot, especially with House of Torture's victory over the Gladiators. Told you that yesterday, idiot. And Blaze says, who is this weirdo? What do you mean, who is this weirdo? You're always a weirdo, Blaze. Good start for the Iron Kingdom. Remember, in this tournament's history, only one time an 8 seed has beaten a number 1 seed. And that was when House of Torture beat the Gorillas of Destiny when I first started doing these tournaments on YouTube and Twitch. It's the only ever time in MEOW history that an 8 seed beat a 1 seed in the first round. Oh, look out here. Big choke slam by Farkas. Plus, the number 1 seed has not won this tournament. And since 2020 was the last time a 1 seed won this tournament. Big German suplex by Buck Dixon. Blaze is not, of course, not in the playoffs because he's Michael Blaze. Blaze was challenged by Kit Wilson on the last show for a match at the next pay-per-view. Blaze says, I harass people all the time. Well, you harass them because you're not a good wrestler, so that means you have to be an asshole to them. No matter if it's a wrestler, a person, or my girlfriend, or anyone, Blaze wants to harass anyone. And a nice slap by Funaki. The reason why Funaki and Farkas are a damn good team together is that they stay on their opponents. They're powerful. They use their advantages when they need to. And that's why they have the number 1 seed in the A block. Taylor's boys trying to cause the upset. Big knee by Buck, and Buck eats the kendo stick. Nice drop kick. Now, if Taylor would have won that match with Marlon Starks against Baba and Andre, I don't know if they would have made it into the playoffs, but they would have been really close. Missed leg drop for Buck Dixon there. Amore with a clothesline. Blaze says, I do not accept my match against Kit Wilson. Well, I guess Blaze does not get paid, and he will be fired for that then, for not accepting the match against Kit Wilson at the pay-per-view. Sleeper slam for Buck. I guess Blaze is too much of a chicken to admit that Kit Wilson is a better wrestler than he is. Buck with behind a sleeper slam. Buck Dixon. Blaze says, you can't fire me. Well, Inoki can. Besides, Blaze is being too much of a chicken and a coward to not fight Kit Wilson. I mean, I guess that means right there that Kit Wilson is a better wrestler than Michael Blaze. Big shoulder tackle there by Baron von Farkas. Funaki's going for the PK. Off the ropes and a PK. Is that going to do it? Funaki and Farkas to move on? No. Yeah, so in my opinion, Blaze not accepting that match against Kit Wilson means that Kit Wilson's the better wrestler. And a sleeper choke on the Buck. Can Buck escape? Yes, he can. Blaze says, you can't fire me, you're a commentator. I know. Inoki can, though. Oh, wait a minute! Carnage Causer! Holy crap, that might actually pull this off. The Iron Kingdom might pull this upset off, but no. Baron von Farkas saves the day. Axe Bomber! Blaze says I'm a free agent. How are you a free agent? Amore trying to go for it. No, blocked by Funaki. Funaki's got himself another sleeper. Carnage Causer. And Amore passes out before Buck can get to him. The number 1 seed of the powerhouses are going to move on to round number 2 to face the winner of probably, well, not a winner, but they'll find out who their opponents are later tonight. Blaze says he put SWW out of business. No, you didn't. The person that put SWW out of the business was SWW themselves, not you. Well, in game lore, it was them, but we won't talk about why they're not doing anything right now. No, you did not wrestle Abe Lincoln, Blaze, but there we go. The powerhouses, they're showing off tonight why they're number 1 seed, and they take out the Iron Kingdom in round number 1. They move on to round 2, and they'll go to the pay-per-view with a chance to win this tournament. Of course, the first round will be in this video here, and the next video will be a pay-per-view, and that will be the rest of the tournament. Blaze says he wrestled the Queen. Wait, Blaze is saying that he wrestled Queen Elizabeth. I don't believe that. I don't think Blaze was alive when he could do that. Blaze says, yes, I did ask Booster. Booster doesn't care. Besides, Booster's had more pinfalls than Blaze has in this entire tournament combined. Blaze had 0. Booster had 2 wins. Booster pinned 2 people, but his team won 3 to 4 matches. Alright, here we go. The 8th seed of Block B, Jose Cooper and Andy Mendez. The Cuban connection looking to somehow beat unstoppable force of Stan Hansen and Vader. It's going to be tough ass for the Cubans. Those Cubans, though, the 8 seed, just barely got on to the into this round. And here's Andy Mendez. Cuban. His parents are also from Kansas City, Missouri, too, funny enough. So he has kind of got 2 homes. He's got a home over here in KC, and he's got a home over in Cuba. Blaze, how do you know that what I did? Because, Blaze, it's easy to know what you have done. Oh, Jesus, it's Vader. Cubans, they cube. No, Blaze. Here, I'm going to let my girlfriend explain to Michael Blaze why they're called Cubans. Babe, hey, babe, can you explain to Michael Blaze why they're called Cubans? Blaze says, stop comparing me to Booster. Yeah, I should, because Booster's a better wrestler than you are. And there's Vader. Vader and Hanson, the number 1 seed, 5 wins, 2 losses. We're undefeated for 4 straight matches in this tournament. Because they were born in Cuba. There you go. That's why. Of course, Blaze would not know that because Blaze is stupid. And there's Vader. The 5-time MEOW World Champion. Are you stupid, Blaze? Yes, he is. And there's, oh God, there's Stan Hansen. One of the only men in my entire life that I've ever feared. Excuse me. Blaze says, is it cube-shaped? No, Cuba's not cube-shaped. Blaze says, Cuba? Why didn't you just say so? That's in their name, Blaze, you dumbass. And there's one of the only men on this entire planet that I fear, and that's Stan Hansen. I think probably he's the most feared man on the entire roster. Well, I don't know, though. If you ask the police and stuff like that, it's probably Perch, because he ends up going to jail. But he's not on the roster here. Hell, I don't even know if Perch will even get to MSW, considering that he's been harassing people. Right now, the Cubans in control early on. Blaze says, why do they live in a cube? They don't live in a cube, Blaze! Ugh. Blaze, if I have to, I'm going to have one of the wrestlers come over and tie you up and put duct tape around your mouth to shut you up. Dead crossbody early on by Jose Cooper. The Cuban Connection were the former international tag team champions. Crazy enough, only one half of those champions is in the playoffs tonight, and that's Dory Funk. You'll see Dory Funk with Jackson Banks later tonight. Terry Funk didn't make the playoffs with Onita, though. He was close, but he didn't get there in time. Big splash there by Andy Mendez, and currently right now it's a good start for the Cuban Connection. Oh, there's Devin. Devin's here. Of course, Devin and Styles will have their match tonight. As Devin and Styles are the second place team in Block A. Earlier in the show, you had Baron von Farkas and Masakatsu Funaki. They beat the Iron Kingdom to move on to round number 2. We'll see if Styles and Devin can move on as well. It will not be an easy match, though. I'll say that for sure for who they have. Oh, and Hansen thrown into the steps here from Jose Cooper. I'll say it again. That 8 seed for Block B was absolutely tough as nails to figure out who was the 8 seed, and ended up going to Jose Cooper and Andy Mendez due to tiebreakers. Of course, you also had Andre and Baba. You also had Manabu Soya and Zach York, but tiebreakers favored the Cubans here tonight. But I do have a little news, though. There was a little bit of a shakeup. Jose Cooper and Andy Mendez were not supposed to be the 8th seed. That was supposed to be Corey Crichton and Colonel Stanakeshta. But an injury to Stan Hansen from their match against Banks and Dory Funk knocked the Miracle Violence Connection out of this tournament, and because of the injury, well, Miracle Violence Connection is not in the tournament anymore. They got taken out due to injury, and so now that is why you see Jose and Andy in this 8 seed, because of that injury to Stan Hansen. Hansen is nursing a leg injury from his match with Dory and Jackson Banks. Even though they won the match, Steve Williams was limping backstage, and then apparently after the match, he was attacked by the hooded man backstage without the security knowing what happened, and he got a cinder block right to his leg, the same leg that Dory kept doing all the damage to during the match. So Dr. Death is injured right now with a leg injury. Oh, very close. Jose Cooper and Andy almost had the second ever 8-seed win over 1 seed here. Two young Cubans are playing a great match right now. Big splash there. That might actually do it. A splash by Andy Mendez. Mendez on fire here, and Stan kicks out too. Who did he harass? A female? Yeah, like, come on. Why do we need to harass people? I mean, yeah, I've been bullied before, so I know what it's like to be harassed. I know a lot of people can feel that, of what it's like to be harassed. Oh, Jesus, a lariat from Stan Hansen. Is Jose done? No, stopped by Andy. Yeah, no one should be harassed, no matter who it is. Oh, going for the power slam. Oh, Vader from behind. No matter who it is, a guy, a woman, a trans person, no matter if they're gay or straight or anyone, no one should be harassed. No matter what their race is, the color of their skin, their sexuality, no one should be harassed like that. Blazes, is their house cube-shaped? Blaze, shut up! Oh, and a right to the eyes for Stan Hansen. Thrown back in the ring is Jose. Hansen's trying to feel himself now. Hansen firing off big kicks to the chest. Oh, and a chair from Vader. After this video, though, it will be pay-per-view time. And that'll be the final video for 2K25. As after that, 2K25 will be done for MUOW, and we'll be starting our path to 2K26. Sit-down splash by Vader, diving fist drop by Stan Hansen. Hansen the cover, Stan to win it. No, kick out by Randy Mendez. And for people wondering, it is just the playoff matches tonight. No extra matches, it is just the 8 playoff matches. Oh God, Hansen. Oh God, no. Stan lifts him up, just tosses down with a crucifix. Here's the pin, cover to win it. Jose, though, out of left field. Oh, but Andy right back to his feet. Look at the power for Andy Mendez. Power slam. Oh, but Vader with a chair. Blaze says their team name should be called Cubed Inc. No, Blaze. They're Cubans. They don't live in a cubed place or in a house, or their place that they live in is not a cube-shaped area. This is why he never let Blaze do any geometry in his life. This is why Blaze never graduated past elementary school. Dude doesn't even know shapes of countries. Right now, though, Jose's on to put down Vader in the ring. Big drop kick for Jose Cooper. And he's on to put him down. Big monkey flip out of the corner. Dominator, or Yokozuna cutter on the floor. Vader's in deep trouble. He's got nowhere to go. This is a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. This is Sorigatame. Vader trying to escape to avoid the upset, and he does. Oh, Jesus. Just as he gets out of the Sorigatame, he eats a nasty clothesline. Well, that might do it. Cover. Andy a win on the floor here. Cover. Stopped by Vader. Russian leg sweep by Jose. Cubans are getting it done here. We might have another upset. We might have our first upset of the playoffs, potentially. And he's calling to try to end this right here. Mendez going for the power slam. You gotta think he hits it, it's over. Is the upset going to be completed? Right to the steel chair. Where's the ref? Oh, really, ref? A rope break. Andy's a powerful guy for his height. Yes, he is. Andy's not a tall guy. He's only, I think he's under 6 foot. He's either 6 foot or 5'10". Big boot to the head of Andy Mendez. Vader going for it here. Good counter again for Andy Mendez. Blaze says that I'm the no, you're not, Blaze. Oh, the kendo stick. Hansen didn't see it. Senton into the back of Stan. Stan didn't see that. Oh, very close, but a big-time kick-out for the lariat. Blaze says Andy told me he's 5'4". He's not 5'4", you idiot. Oh, big power bomb. Andy again saying it's over. He's going to try to put down the lariat. Oh, that was because Hansen was up top. He ate a kendo stick right to the head, and then he fell down, and Andy hit a senton. Vader's tapping out, but that's not a win. Andy, though, big counter. Oh, the lariat from Hansen. Stan Hansen off a lariat. Oh, and Andy kicks out. That was close. Yes, it was. Crucifix. Blaze says he'll be the cover star on 2K27. Really, Blaze is going to be the cover star of 2K27. Who would want Blaze as their cover star? Oh, the sharpshooter again! Hansen! No, oh, come on! Referee again! Another very controversial rope call by the official there. I wouldn't call that a rope break if I was the referee. And an elbow drop for Andy. Oh, wow, geez Louise. We almost actually might go to a time limit draw. We go to a time limit draw. That's going to be huge. Blaze is the only 5'4" guys retired. Yeah, true. I don't think he's retired, but that's okay, Blaze. Again, me in real life, I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'5". Heck, my girlfriend's like what, 5 foot, 5'1", and she's pretty good for she's pretty damn strong for a person her size. Big German suplex toss here by Vader. They said we got less than 10 minutes in this match. We might have a time limit draw in the playoffs. And that's going to be the second ever time, too, if we ever get a time limit draw in the playoffs. It's happened before. That's why Kenner Kobashi and Tamon Honda got all the way to the semifinals one year. It's because of that playoff time limit draw that happened one year. Happened between Mitsuharu Misawa and Yoshinari Ogawa. Happened between them and Endo and Jun Akiyama. Vader's in trouble again. Vader's just tapped! Ladies and gentlemen, the upset's completed. The 8 seed has beaten the 1 seed. Second ever time right there in MEOW Destination Tag League history that an 8 seed has beaten the 1 seed in the playoffs. Vader and Hansen didn't know that they were going to face the Cuban Connection, and look what happens tonight. The Cubans pull it off. The upset is complete. The very first upset of this playoffs has done it. Wasn't Dan Powell the shortest? Yeah, he probably was. Knowing Dan. Yeah, but yeah, the upset's completed, boys. Blaze says, can we watch better matches? No, Blaze, we're not watching your matches because I don't want to see a terrible match like yours. But the upset's completed. I bet a lot of people's brackets are now just completely busted after that match. All right, now we get to the 2 versus 7. The Beasts of Kazuki Fujita and Jelon Morrison taking on Brandon Styles and Devin. Not an easy one for Styles and Devin. Yes, the Beasts might be a lower seed, but you cannot take away anything from Jelon Morrison and Kazuki Fujita. These are two guys that work well together. They have a little bit of history with each other. I mean, Fujita helped Morrison get on the trail and help him win the TV title. They've been good in this tournament. Couple tiebreakers knocked them down to the 7th seed, but they're a damn good 7 seed. I would not underestimate them if I were anyone. Blaze's terrible matches. I can beat anyone. Oh, sure, but you won't wrestle Kit Wilson because you're too much of a chicken. Hey, babe, if you're still in the chat, can you explain to Michael Blaze? Can you explain to him about why his matches are terrible? And the whole thing about Blaze saying that he can beat anyone? And then out comes Jelon Morrison. He got the win on the last show for the Beasts. Big reason why they're in this spot, too, is because of that win they scored with that Tiger Driver on Victor John. Without that win, you'd probably say that they're not in this tournament, in this playoffs here. Blaze, you literally lost 2K multiple times. Yeah, Blaze has never beaten Mr. 2K one-on-one, which is funny. Alright, and now comes Brandon and Devin. Brandon and Devin got the 2 seed, and that's only because of a tiebreaker. They do not have the tiebreaker over Baron von Farkas and Funaki. If they did, they would be the 1 seed. And there's Burning Champion Brandon Styles, who have to defend the title at the pay-per-view. Do not know who his challenger is, but we'll have to find out for the pay-per-view. Like I said, this is not going to be an easy fight for Styles and Devin. It'll probably take a good amount out of the tank. It'll take a good amount out of the energy tank for them to put these two down. Morrison and Fujita are tough men. They're tough individuals, despite the age of Morrison and Fujita. Fujita's like, what, in his late 40s. Morrison's still pretty young in his 20s. But they got a lot of fight in them. Hell, 2K threw Fireball at Blaze once. Yeah, I remember that. And there's Devin. Devin's brother, Cade Cobra's in the main event tonight for Block B. Him and Jones are fighting later in the main event of tonight's show. And here we go, Styles and Devin versus the Beasts. Let's see what happens here tonight between these two teams. We already have one upset. The question is, are we going to have more? Oh, big kick already starts by Morrison. And Devin will go for Fujita. Big shot there by Morrison. Wait, roll up by Devin. If you remember back in the M1 last year, Devin and Fujita did have a matchup in the M1 last year. It was won by Devin. So Devin does have a little bit of an experience over Fujita, and Morrison sends down Devin to close on, and down goes Styles. Not Blaze. Styles says I had garbage internet that day. Yeah, oof. No one likes garbage internet. I hate it. My girlfriend doesn't like garbage internet. Big knee lift early on by Fujita. Fujita, lots of experience in the wrestling world, and big miss by Morrison. And now Fujita will pull the arm, Brandon, into the turnbuckle, into the ropes. From behind, Fujita works perfectly there, and a nice sidewalk slam to Devin. You gotta probably think Devin's back is probably still bothering him a little bit since that match with MSW. I wouldn't say Devin's back is 100%, but I wouldn't say it's under 70. I would still probably say his back's at like 80% or something like that. I wouldn't say Devin is going into this match 100%. Especially after stuff that's happened on MSW and BMW as well. Nice springboard by Styles. Brandon getting back into the matchup here. Cover on Fujita on a 2 and a kick out by Fujita. Devin back to his feet, taken down by Morrison. Jelon Morrison off the ropes, or drop the elbow. Yeah, especially BMW, yeah. That is true. If I were you guys, definitely go watch BMW. Morrison trying to put away Devin, but counter for Devin. Devin, far enough shots to Morrison. Devin, Hurricane Rana. Now Devin looks to put down Jelon Morrison. The spin kick. Here's Fujita, though, blocked by Styles. Yes, that is true. Styles going to the ropes here. Styles on the apron. Styles calls up Fujita. Styles, springboard Hurricane Rana. Styles, can we think of Pele kick? Instead, he bumps into the referee. And a big kick there. Stunt Dog Millionaire on the floor by Devin. Styles goes for it. Black Cross incoming. And there it is. Styles, a black cross. Question is that enough? Oh, Fujita just kicks out as the back of Morrison goes right to the apron, courtesy of Devin. Brandon. Is he thinking Pele kick? No, he's not. He's on the apron, courtesy of Fujita. Fujita, cover here on Morrison. Covered, broken up by Fujita. Styles sees the opportunity. Big clothesline counter, Fujita. Fujita drops the knee. Devin going for Hell 5. And it's a Hell 5. Can't go for the pin, though. Fujita's right there. Kick to the back of the head. Styles sees positioning. Devin calls up Morrison. A kendo stick to the back. Oh, that damage might come up to Morrison. Here's the pin, the hook of the leg. Oh, somehow Morrison kicks out. Despite a Hell 5 and a kendo stick, Morrison is still in the fight tonight. A Hell 5 and a kendo stick. Still not enough to put down Morrison. Double rotation moonsault. Will that get the job done? It will not. Break up by Morrison. Morrison and Fujita try to make themselves the comeback here. Sleeper slam for Morrison. Devin says not many can say they kicked out of a Hell 5. That's true. Not only a Hell 5, but a kendo stick as well. And now Devin and Styles using the weapons to their advantage. Oh God, a head scissors lock, but a nice rope break for John Morrison. Styles says it's over here. Styles is going to put the grip on the end of this matchup. And a black cross. That's got to do it. That's got to do it. That has to. That is 3. That's game over. Styles and Devin will move on. Morrison Fujita put up a fight, but not enough to fall the titans of Styles and Devin. The fighting spirit of Morrison and Fujita was trying to wheel them on, but lots of damage and continued pressure by Styles and Devin helps them move on to the second round. Of course, they'll find out their opponents later on in the night for the second round, but a great win by the Burning Champion and Devin here tonight. Moving on to round number 2. Devin says that lumbar was definitely not necessary. Hey, well, sometimes you got to. All right, 7 versus 2 here in the B block. Crichton and Takeshita takes on the Iron Gods of Sean Sanders and Dubs. Big win for them on the last show. Primetime Sean Sanders pinned the world champion Mr. Amazing. And what I've been told by the committee of MLW, Adrian Coleman is out of the 6-man Hell in a Cell match, replaced by Primetime Sean Sanders. So now that 6-man Hell in a Cell match for the World Championship has changed up a little bit due to that pinfall that Sean Sanders got on the final night of group play, pinning Mr. Amazing. Lairdo Crichton and Takeshita upping to the 7th seed instead of the 8th seed due to the injury to Dr. Death Steve Williams. Again, we're supposed to fight Hanson Vader. Now they move up to face the Iron Gods. Yeah, I might say, hey, that's better for Crichton and Takeshita. The only problem is the Iron Gods have been on a warpath in this tournament. I mean, they were 5-2. They just didn't have a tiebreaker that they wanted over Vader and Hanson. But Crichton and Takeshita kind of faltered a little bit in this tournament, but a 4-3 record for them. We'll see what will it take for Corey and Takeshita to move on to round 2. It will not be easy. These Iron Gods are dogs. They're just completely on a different path, on a different level. And of course, there's Sean Sanders. Here's my big question. What if Sean Sanders wins the World Championship at the pay-per-view, and then the Iron Gods win the Destination Tag League? A lot of people are getting injured. Steve, Devin, Victor, yeah. I mean, yeah, Devin, like I said, he's not 100% going into that matchup against the Beasts, but he still got the win with Styles. I'm always going to say this again. Sean Sanders, with how good the Iron Gods have been in this tournament, he's in that 6-man Hell in a Cell match. What if Shawn Sanders wins the world title, and then him and Andrew Dobbs goes on to win Destination Tag League 2026? That'll be a hell of a show for Shawn Sanders, and it'll be a primetime era here in MUOW if that happens. And then there's, of course, Andrew Dobbs. Dobbs has been very good as well. He hasn't been on the same level as, of course, primetime. But Dobbs has been also very impressive here, and I'll give him that too. Here, Crichton Takeshita versus the Iron Gods. Alphas versus Gods here tonight. We already had one upset in the B block, and we're going to have another one. Big German by Corey and a big slam by Takeshita. Right in the corner, though, is Takeshita with Shawn Sanders. Big Haluma kick in the corner with a big boot. And a miss by Crichton. What killed Corey and Takeshita a lot in this tournament is wacky ways that they'll somehow somehow get them into trouble. Of course, the double power bombs from Vader and Stan Hansen to the big loss that Crichton had over Jericho Jones. But counter, big knee from Andrew Dobbs. And that's the one thing that the Iron Gods have been really good at in this tournament. They know when to counter. They know when to get their shots in. They even have a win over the Miracle Violence Connection, too. One of only 2 teams to beat them. Or actually, yeah, one of only 2 teams to beat them. Look out here, running boot in that corner. From prime time, Shawn Sanders, and a kick out for Corey Crichton. Crichton, member of the War Dogs, same with the Kesha. Their leader, David Finley, and Chase Plazana did not get into the playoffs for the A block. They got close, but just not enough points for them. At breaker of the floor, Shawn Sanders with a shooting star. Right there, Crichton, and this has been a good match so far for the Iron Gods. Oh, Sanders already going to war. Of course, this could be a preview to what happens at the pay-per-view in that world title match. Both Crichton and Shawn Sanders are both in that matchup. Roll up by Crichton. And there's a kick out for Shawn Sanders. Big shot from Crichton. Shawn Sanders and a miss there. But from behind, Dobbs. Crichton, beautiful. Well, we even got a raid going on, folks. Haven't seen that actually here in a while. I've been raided on Twitch in a long time. Crichton back in the ring. Crichton trying to take advantage. Oh, the chair for Takeshita. Bringing it right to the ribs of prime time. Corey up to the second row. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shawn Sanders. Nasty. A Styles clash. SN Don, nice to see SN Don here. Good to see him. Just finished my EFIT. I saw you on 25 and came over. Hey, that's nice to see you, man. Crichton trying to put this match to bed. Corey walking the Boston Crab. Crichton to put the match away to move on to round 2. Instead, Dobbs gets to the rope and Crichton with a kick. Corey Crichton upstairs. Crichton to really put the emphasis on this win. Big moonsault. Nice, nasty combo from Crichton. Corey Crichton, can he get the cover? 1 count. What? Oh, somehow, some way, this match is not over. I can't believe it. Usually that's the end of the match. And now, raging fire. A raging fire, but it's not burned enough yet. Shawn Sanders saves the day again. A 1 count. Yeah, I couldn't believe that too, Brandon. A nasty 1 count. You don't really see a kick out of Corey's super kick out 1, but tonight there was. And it's Shawn Sanders pulling his tricks again. Good springboard moonsault from Corey Crichton. Yeah, it's always good to see newer people here as well. Back up to his feet, Corey Crichton trying to call up Shawn Sanders. Misses the kick. That could come back to haunt Crichton here tonight. Off the ropes. Shawn Sanders, a nasty spin kick. A hook kick for Shawn Sanders. Oh, Crichton gets his right shoulder up. For, of course, the people that are just tuning in now, this is the first round of the Destination Tag League 2026 playoffs. We're now in the immense of a nasty match of a 2 versus 7 seed in the B block. Almost a 3, but not enough. Do I see a Brit? Liam improves. Hey, good to see that. Yes, Corey Crichton is from the European. He is a European from the United Kingdom. He was actually a part of the World Cup of War Games I ended up doing in this a couple years ago. Cover on Crichton. No, Crichton gets the kick out. Yeah, Corey's a Brit. That's true. I do have a good amount of Brits on this roster here. Uh-oh, this might do it. Shining Wizard to the back of the head. Dubs. Stopped by Takeshita. Takeshita saves the day. Keeping the match alive for his squad. The Dogs trying to fight back. Crichton, what is this? The World Cup of War Games was fun. Yeah, I'm thinking about pulling that out again this year. Superplex! You don't see a Crichton superplex very much, but tonight Crichton had to pull back the curtain and drill him. Oh! Yeah, okay, that's it. That's got to do it. Another hook kick for Shawn Sanders. Shawn Sanders! No! Liam and his approval, Brits. Yeah, there you go. Shawn Sanders. Oh, Jesus, got his foot on the ropes, and we're heightened at 1. Shawn Sanders can't believe it. Oh, he hits this. It's game. Crichton's up. Tiger driver. The cover. The hook of the leg. Oh! Takeshita somehow breaks up it in time. Oh, Crichton, buddy. Crichton's in trouble. Right into a choke. He's in the middle of the ring. He's got nowhere to go, and he has to tap. Yeah. For as amazing as a technical wrestler that Corey Crichton is, when you're in a position like that, it's either you got to tap or just call it quits. And Crichton called it quits there for tonight. The Iron Gods move on to the second round in the B block playoff portion of the Destination Tag League. Need me to make anything for me? No, I'm good, Styles. I'm going to actually start making people pretty soon on 26. I mean, if the other guys, if Liam wants, and if S and Dawn wants their guys on my stuff, I can get them on 26 if they have it. But Shawn Sanders and Andrew Dubs, the Iron Gods, moving on to round number 2 after a great match against Crichton and Takeshita. Tough luck there for Crichton and Takeshita, but sometimes that's just how the house goes. The house favors the higher seeds a lot here in this tournament. Oh, cracked my neck. We decided to stay on 25 after seeing the disaster. Hey, that made sense, man. I don't blame you. Next up, a 6 versus 3 time for the A block. It's going to be House of Torture, the 3 seed, taking on the 6 seed, the current MEOW Tag Team Champions, Christian Barton and Austin Barnes of the Unity. Definitely a not very liked match here. These are both teams that are big-time heels. None of the fans like these teams. Blaze says, you boo. Staying on 25, can't get on the laptop. Hey, don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys. Need to do aftercare. I'll be back in a few. Not a bad idea. But here, a House of Torture versus Christian Barton and Austin Barnes of the Unity. Tag Team Champions. Want to continue on. I mean, yeah, not a great time for the Tag Champs, but, I mean, they're happy for being in this playoff spot. I mean, of course, they're bitter rivals, and Chris Maverick and Paul Martinez, who you will see later tonight, they've also made it in the playoffs. They even have a win over them in this tournament. And there's Mr. Austin Barnes. Second reign of the boys with the tag team titles, won them back in Mexico in a Hell in a Cell match against Maverick and Martinez in a bloodied match. We'll see if the boys can keep a going here tonight. Of course, the rules for this tournament is if you win this tournament, you don't only win the trophies and the MVP trophy, but you also become the tag team champions unless the champions go to the finals and win it. That's only ever happened one time in this tournament, and it happened on the last time I did it. And now we got to deal with the biggest egotistical son of a bitches in this tournament in House of Torture that are still left. The House of Torture always plays by their rules. They always want to do it the way they want. Most of their wins in this tournament came by a low blow for the House of Torture. Just 2 of their wins were by submission. All the others were by low blows. We'll see if the cheating aspects of the House of Torture continue on into this tournament playoff style. Blaze says nerds. Blaze, they're not nerds. Calm down. I'm just giving you facts and what's the truth here, Michael. Now, Narita, formerly not a member of House of Torture, but hated the guys since it came into House of Torture, and then their leader, Evil. Of course, Evil is now on NXT for people that don't know, and he's going to be fighting Tony D'Angelo for that NXT title since he beat Mason Rook for a shot at the NXT title. Hell, if I'm NXT and Shawn Michaels, put the title on Evil. I mean, yeah, D'Angelo, he's good and all, but you want a heel to hold a belt, you give it to Evil. And Evil, the TV champion. And here we go, House Torture and the Unity going here facing off. You gotta believe, though, House Torture wins and say they beat the tag champs here, and they could probably almost have a first-time say for whoever wins this tournament for a shot at the tag team titles. Big splash early on by Evil and a kick out for Christian Barton. So far, one upset in this playoff bracket so far. That was the 8 seed, the Cuban Connection, beating the number 1 seed of Vader and Stan Hansen earlier in the night. That's only the second time in history that an 8 seed has beaten a 1 seed in this tournament. The only other team to do it, you're seeing them in the ring right now. That's House of Torture. Did it 2 years ago, beating the Gorillas of Destiny. That shot to the chest by Evil. Evil, big combo. And neck-breaker from behind by Ren Narita. And a gorilla press by Evil. And the House of Torture playing to their tactics. That's what they got to do if they want to move on to round 2. Going right after. And Evil with a chair. There's House of Torture for you right there. Use the environment. Use your weapon. That's a little payback right out of the playbook of House of Torture. A low blow for Christian Barton. Hitting Evil while writing his little evils, if you ask me. That's usually a playbook out of House of Torture. But this time tonight, the Unity sends it right back at them. Sometimes in order to beat someone, you gotta play fire with fire. And the Unity tonight playing with fire. Typical House of Torture, yeah. Well, they had a low blow. You don't really see someone do a low blow to House of Torture, and you just saw it. Evil down. Barnes with the back suplex, and they'll take advantage. Barnes and Barton, one of the youngest teams in this tournament. Christian Barton, 23. Barnes, 21 and a half. Cuban Connection, though, currently the youngest team in this tournament, for people that do not know that is left. Blaze, can you shut up? Yes, I agree with my girlfriend for Blaze to shut up. Cover Austin Barnes. Barnes put away Ren Narita. You've been giving me a headache since I met you. Thanks, babe. Evil. Darkness falls right almost into the apron of the ring. Nasty for Evil. And a German suplex there for Ren Narita. Evil cannot say super kick, Barton. Christian Barton with a super kick. Barnes, the nasty shot of the apron. By the way, for people that do not know, you can download most of my stuff I make on the hashtag of MUOW. I still got to upload more people onto the community creations. I'm planning on doing that probably sometime tomorrow before I work. Or I'll do it after I work, you never know. Back into the ring goes Barnes and Evil, and everyone back in the ring. Evil going for the low blow, but stopped by Barnes with the steel chair. Evil thrown into the apron of the ring. Narita doesn't see it. Shot to the throat. Christian Barton from behind. Beautiful sleeper slam. E-feds are a lot more work than a lot of people realize. That I agree with. And I know the other boys that do ones here agree with that too. They do require a lot of work, but they're pretty satisfying. Cutter to the steel chair, Austin Barnes. Cover, Barnes. Evil kicks out. Yeah, that's very true. I agree with that. But I got a lot of fun doing it, though. Barnes calling for a shot. Oh, there it is. A forearm to the back of Evil's head. Ref turn around, make the cover, please. Narita's blocked by Barton's body, and Evil kicks out. Yeah, it is fun. I agree. It's lots of fun. Especially when you create a lot of good stories and your friends also make great characters that you can use and add them to your stories. Evil rolls them up here. I mean, all of these guys I actually made myself. I made Evil, I made Narita, I made Barnes and Barton. But there's other guys on this that are made by other people. I got Styles, who's of course made by Brandon. I got Devin, who's made by Devin. And other people on this show that are made by some good friends of mine, like Vampiro. He makes MSW, and that's a great show. I got people from Shockwave. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Jesus, no. Low blow, Evil. Evil's going to take this from a low blow. Oh, but Barton, this time it doesn't get the job done for House of Torture. The low blow does not work tonight for House of Torture. It's worked a lot in this tournament, but a kick out for Barton. Oh, to the nut shot, yep. Christian Barton got his shoulder up. First time in this tournament that someone's kicked out of the low blow from House of Torture. But look at this, Narita focusing right on the arm of Barnes. Back in the ring, Evil's got the kendo stick. Evil slamming into the leg of Barton. And Evil going to take advantage. Evil off the kendo stick. No. Narita thinking about it here. Big splash. And now that sleeper choke. Narita off a sleeper chokehold. And a nice counter for Barnes. And a counter for Barton. Barnes up in the air. And ECW, we call it the Pharaoh's Curse. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, ECW is great. I gotta watch your guys' stuff too, which I will. I also do have a YouTube channel as well, so if you guys do not catch these replays, you can watch the if you don't catch these live, you can watch the replays online. A pop-up uppercut from Evil. Evil off the pop-up. Kind of big break by Barton. Christian Barton going for that brain buster. Can he get it? Yes! Maxed out brain buster. For Ren, Narita's in trouble. Evil eats a springboard. Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Hey, I'll take it, man. Feels beatable to all us. Hey, I'll take it. Cover off that brain buster. Narita, a kick out of one. Took too long. Barnes did kicks on Evil. Barnes, overhead shot to the throat. Trying to take advantage. Barnes trying to go for that knee in the corner, perhaps. Yes, he will. He'll set him up in the corner. Sliding knee in the corner. The sliding knee from Austin Barnes to beat House of Torture. 2. No, come on, ref. Stop slow counting. Narita's got the choke locked in again. And he stops it just in the break of time. Ref, you son of a bitch. Why? Why slow count? And now Barnes trying to get his shot going. They got Evil down. They got to take advantage, though. Narita's in trouble, too. Ref needs to be KO'd. Yeah, true. True with that one. And an atomic drop from Barnes on the floor, and now Barton trying to get devious with those steel steps. Narita still in that corner after taking the shots from Christian Barton. Back into the ring goes Barnes. Narita's just playing with him. I don't know why Narita's doing that. That might cost him the match in the end. Off the ropes. Swinging neckbreaker. Evil's caught with a cutter on the floor to the charge of the kendo stick. Oh, Narita with that pointed running elbow strike in the ring. Busting open Christian Barton. Now Fisherman's Buster onto the kendo stick. Can Narita capitalize, though? I think he's taking too long. And yet, there's my fear. He took too long. Narita's hoisted up, and a brain buster again. Evil, though, doesn't see Barnes from behind. He does see them. Oh, Jesus. Everything is evil. Oh, this is still not enough. Evil again talking to the officials saying, make your count, goddammit. Just end it. Back in the ring, Darkness falls. Evil's going to try to slit the throat, trying to end this battle. Evil going for that low blow down to Barnes, and he got every single damn piece of it. Come on. The low blow. The cover, Narita. Evil's not going for the pin. I'm shocked. Oh, Jesus Christ. And that's 3. Red Narita. House of Torture wins. God damn it. House of Torture wins. Great. That's going to leave a big, bad taste in my mouth. Someone get the bleach, put it in my eyes, put it down my throat. House of Torture wins. The scumbags of this tournament move on. They had to go through bite, tooth, and nail just to survive. The tag team champions for the House of Torture, the biggest scumbags on planet Earth, are moving on to round 2. A low blow, and then next you know, Narita takes out Christian Barton for 3. Oh, just not the result I want to see. Well, time to get the bleach. Yeah, that's true, Brandon. That would pretty much mean now that Styles and Devin have to fight House of Torture in the second round. Ooh. Yikes, that's going to be a match. Devin and Styles versus the House of Torture in round number 2. Alright, next up's going to be the 6 versus 3 seed. It's going to be Dory Funk and Jackson Banks taking on the team of Matt Storm and Brooklyn Joker. Again, the only reason why this is going on is because an injury due to Dr. Death Steve Williams. If he doesn't have the injury, well, Matt Storm, Brooklyn Joker would be a 7 seed, and then Dory and Jackson Banks would be a 4th seed. But due to that injury, it bumped up both of those teams. Nice springboard already by Brooklyn Joker and a net breaker. Little stunner net breaker. By the way, of course, if people do not know, Matt Storm, one of the 6 people that will be fighting at the Nets pay-per-view for the World Championship. For people that do not know, there will be a 6-man Hell in a Cell match for the World Championship at the Nets pay-per-view. It will not be the main event, though, because apparently there's a mystery main event going on. It will not be the finals of this tournament, and it's not going to be the 6-man Hell in a Cell match. But the 6 people in the match currently right now, as we know, is the World Champion Mr. Amazing. You'll be seeing him in the main event tonight. You'll see Corey Crichton, who you saw earlier. You're going to have the Iron Taylor. You're going to have Matt Storm, who you see here. You're going to have Primetime Sean Sanders. And you will have Malibu Soya. All fighting for the MLW World title in a 6-man Hell in a Cell matchup. And the rules are you must be the last man standing to win the World Championship title. Brooklyn Joker, beautiful dive double axe handle. Back in the ring, Dory Funk. Dory Funk, he holds an interesting stat, Dory Funk does. Dory Funk is the only person in this whole tournament to make Kate Cobra tap out, and that is a hell of a stat line for Dory Funk. Dory, of course, is also the MVP winner of the last tournament that I did here in the Tag League. Whenever I do these, I always do an MVP, just because I feel like it's worthy. It just feels like you gotta give something to the best performer of the team that wins. And for the last one I did it was Dory Funk. It was him and Terry, his brother, that won the tournament, beating Luther and Draven Caius in the final to win that. They're the only champions to have ever win the tournament. And there's that nice net breaker for Dory Funk. Dory, an innovator of lots of holds, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. There's lots of great wrestlers from those 70s and 60s that do not get the appreciation that they deserve. People like Dory Funk. Hell, Luthez. Luthez doesn't get enough credit, and yet look at the man. He was a 3-time world champion by the age of 24. Dive to double axe handle, big miss by Jackson Banks, or by Brooklyn Joker. Another guy too is Jumbo Tsuruta of All Japan, the Monster Ace, the first ever Triple Crown champion, and a hell of a wrestler. He was even an AWA world champion. You don't really see many Japanese wrestlers hold a world championship over in the United States, but he's one of them to do that. Nice shot with the Claymore, Matt Storm. No, Banks gets his right shoulder up. Paul Orndorff was supposed to be on top, and then Hogan came in. You know, I agree with that there, Blasphemy. Paul Orndorff is very good. Oh, Jesus, an Illuma kick in the corner from Brooklyn Joker. That might do it. Brooklyn Joker. Hold on here, Brooklyn Joker off the big boot in the corner. That's 3. We have our second upset of the night, folks. The 6 seed moves on, beats the 3 seed, so Matt Storm and Brooklyn Joker moving on to round number 2. Big upset win for those boys. They'll have to find out who their opponents are later. But a big win for Storm and Brooklyn Joker that'll help Storm's confidence going into that big 6-man Hell in a Cell match. We have an ECW this season that have all been screwed by WWE in some way. Yeah, there's some... I really like that, because I also have used guys in here, too, that are screwed by WWE. Rick Rude is one of them. Rick Rude is also, Rick Rude has held the World Championship here 3 different times. Rick Rude's another one that's very underrated in my book. I mean, that's a guy, in my opinion, that could hold a World Championship. He should have been a World Champion in WWE, if you ask me, Rick Rude. Banks is definitely not 100% after his match with John. Yeah, I can see that. Next up, the final match of the first round of the A block, 5 versus 4. The winner of this will take on the top-seeded powerhouse team, the Powerhouses, in the next round. Most credit Joe Hansen. Oh, yes. But we've had former guys screwed over by WWE. Again, I'll always say it, the biggest guy to have been screwed by WWE, and he should have been unanimously a multi-time world champion there, is Vader. Vader is always a monster wherever he goes. And I don't know how WWE screwed up Vader. How do you screw up Vader that bad? Vader should have been a multi-time world champion and probably a Grand Slam champion too. They messed up big time. And Vader almost quit wrestling because of that too. That would have been horrible, because then we wouldn't have the late 90s Vader, which, funny enough, that's probably the best Vader ever. I mean, that dude was holding 3 world championships at once. That's how good Vader was in the late 90s. Roddy Piper being the biggest screw job? True, I would put probably Piper at 2 for number 2 or number 3. Again, I would probably have Rick Rude right below them. I mean, yeah, an Intercontinental title is good for Rick Rude, but only to have like 1 reign with it and do nothing, instead of drop it to the Ultimate Warrior again, is just really, come on. Vader's top 5? Yeah, Vader, man. What a wrestler that guy was. I always recommend people to go watch his All Japan days. Vader in All Japan was friggin' awesome. His big rivalry with Ken Kobashi, Amazing. One of the best rivalries of all time, if you ask me. Again, Vader, I'd have up there some of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And the guy that was just talked about, Ken Kobashi, I also have very high up. A lot of people will probably know Kobashi because of his match with Samoa Joe back at Ring of Honor. One of the greatest matches of all time, if you ask me. I bet a lot of people probably have that match in at least their top 15 to top 10 range. I have it at number 4 in my top 10. That was Samoa Joe, not bigger. Yeah, Joe too. Joe's what? A 2-time AEW World Champion? Joe was a 2-time AEW World Champion, a World Champion in TNA, NXT Champion multiple times there. The only, other than Roman Reigns, he's the only guy to beat Demon Finn Balor. And Edge, sorry, I forgot Edge. But the only really guy, he was the first guy to beat Demon Finn Balor in WWE. Iron Sheik, I don't really need to say Iron Sheik, because Iron Sheik was a world champion, very, very good at getting heat, and that's why he was world champion. And really, you asked me, a guy that knows my history of professional wrestling, Bob Backlund didn't really deserve to have that title for that long. Well, he did lose it, and this is not in the WWE history book, because WWE does not acknowledge it, but Bob Backlund did lose the WWE title to Antonio Inoki, who, funny enough, is the owner of my company. But Inoki did win it from Bob Backlund, and not only that, he retained it as well against Bob Backlund. And then he gave the title back to WWE because of the interference that happened in his title defense against Bob Backlund. So then WWE just randomly says, no, sorry, no, you never won the title. So technically, we have a missing piece of a WWE championship history. We would have had a Japanese WWE champion. But no, they just never choose to acknowledge it. Yeah, that too, Wade Barrett and Nexus, I hated that. Yeah, Nexus should have won. I agree with that, too. Oh, man, Vader was amazing, yeah. And there's Gladiator 2. Again, I'll mention it here. Gladiator 2, I made him as a reference to the Gladiator. For people that do not know who Gladiator was, that was Mike Awesome. And I enjoyed watching Mike Awesome as the Gladiator in All Japan and FMW. For people that do not know who FMW is, FMW is the most successful extreme wrestling promotion of all time, and that includes ECW, which is crazy to believe that there was a more profitable and bigger extreme wrestling company than ECW, and that was FMW, run, of course, by Atsushi Onita, who probably has tied Terry Funk for the most retirements and unretirements in career history. Here go the 4 versus 5 team. John and Gladiator 2 versus Paul Martinez and Chris Maverick. For people that want to know, Paul, Chris, and Gladiator were both made by me. John is a guy on Prince Macau's channel in Vita. He was made by Styles in this game. But John is always a must-have guy, if you ask me. Yes, that is true. I always hated WWE for what they did after One Night Stand. Of course, One Night Stand 2005 is one of the greatest wrestling pay-per-views of all time, if you ask me. Mike Awesome's had some of his best highlights here, yeah. I mean, one match that happened on my channel was Michael Blaze and Mike Awesome, and Mike Awesome hit him with an awesome bomb off the top rope. Crazy enough, Mike Awesome was a former world champion here at one point. He's only won it once, but he was a former world champion here. Big shot from Paul Martinez. In the game World of Lore, the commentator version of me, Paul Martinez is my son. Of course, I'm the commentator, Xavier Martinez. Paul would be my son. Of course, that's not my real name in real life, of course. Big nice snake eyes from Paul Martinez. My wrestler didn't even make it to the playoffs. My guy only won one match with his tag team. Blaze is never going to recover from that. No, not an awesome bomb off the top. With how big and strong Mike Awesome is, taking an awesome bomb off the top is brutal. There's only a few guys that could probably do a more deadly power bomb than a awesome bomb. I'll probably give that to Vader, or not Vader, Toshiaki Kawada, Genichiro Tenryu, and Kevin Nash. Paul sets on the corner. Red discus punch. Rolling discus punch out of the corner. Paul Martinez to win it here. That is 3. John just did not get there in time. So that means the 5th seed team is moving on to round number 2. So our second round matches for Block A are set. It's going to be Paul Martinez and Chris Maverick versus the number 1 seeded team, the powerhouses of Baron von Farkas and Masakatsu Funaki. And in the other match, it's going to be the 2nd seed Devin and Styles taking on the 3 seed at House of Torture. Stan Hansen had a wicked layer. Oh my God, Stan Hansen. Hansen's awesome. People, again, I always say it every time he comes down to the ring. Stan Hansen is one of the only people on this entire planet that I fear. You just can't get more scarier than Stan Hansen. You're talking about a man that's an unsinkable, unbeatable battleship. If you ask me. We're talking about the only in the first ever Gaijin to pin both Inoki and Baba. He's the first Gaijin to ever do that, which is nasty. Stan's left arm is scary. Oh, yeah. A dude took out Vader's eye socket. I mean, yeah, he hit him with the friggin' cowbell or the bull rope earlier in his entrance, but then he broke his nose, too. And helped take the eye out of Vader's socket. Anyway, here's Mr. Amazing, the world champion. Won the championship in a screw job fashion when it was him and CJ, Cameron Jacobs, fighting over the world title when CJ was champion. A very controversial call by the referee. The ref called for the bell when he thought CJ tapped, but in hindsight, CJ was just crawling to the bottom rope to force a break, and the ref thought that was a tap out. And because of that, well, Mr. Amazing is the world champion. He's ready to defend it once against Ronaldo Takeshita, but he's going in for a hell of a defense at the next pay-per-view in that 6-man Hell in a Cell. Amazing and his man Yohei Oiwa of Shockwave. That's their faction they're part of. The other members of Team DK, along with Zack Sabre Jr., Batista, Rob Van Dam, and then this hooded man. We do not know who this hooded man is, but he's been causing chaos left and right. Kojima, oh, Kojima's awesome. I love Kojima. He was in this tournament earlier, too. He was in a team called Bro Cozy with a guy named William, a.k.a. Wilku. So I called him Bro Cozy. DJ's still pissed to this day, yeah, and CJ tried to get his revenge, but it didn't work. Lost in a submission match to Marcus in Mexico. And then you got Yohei Oiwa. Again, like I said, member of Team DK, part of the New Japan Pro Wrestling roster. See what he has in store. Of course, Oiwa's wrestling this Sunday morning in Dominion. Definitely going to be a hell of a pay-per-view to watch for New Japan is Dominion. New Japan currently has my second favorite match of the year so far, with Andrade versus Yota Tsuji from Dontaku Night 1 for the global title. That was a really good match, and Andrade would win that match. My favorite match of the year so far, though, is Swerve Strickland versus Bandito, and then my third favorite match of the year is, of course, the Mask versus Mask match from AAA. Jima's underrated? Oh, hell yeah, he is. So there's your 5th seeded Shockwave. And now taking on the 4th seeded team, which is a nasty team. This is probably the most dangerous team in this tournament. Jericho Jones and K-Cobra. Oh, I agree with Styles with that. AAA's definitely been better than WWE so far. The Aussie, Jericho Jones, a former MSW World Champion, lost that to Wolfman. One of the only Aussies we have on the roster. Luckily, Triple H has no control over it, and Undertaker's done an amazing job. Yeah, Undertaker and Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio also helps with Triple A, which, haha, funny, makes sense, because he's actually wrestled for Triple A before. Heck, Eddie Guerrero has actually wrestled for both Triple A and CMLL. When CMLL was not called CMLL. It was once ECLL, which is the longest reigning company in wrestling so far, is CMLL. They're almost 100 years old, which is insane. And of course, CMLL also has one of the greatest wrestlers of all time to come out of that promotion, which is, of course, El Santo. Of course, for people that don't know El Santo, he's the most popular wrestler of all time. People might say, oh, it's Hulk Hogan, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's John Cena. Well, no. Was John Cena, Hulk Hogan, or Stone Cold ever called the national hero of your country? No. Does Hulk Hogan have a statue in his honor anywhere in the world? No. But do you know who does? El Santo. El Santo also had one of the biggest funerals in Mexican history. And he was just a pro wrestler. Hell, who would have thought a pro wrestler would have one of the biggest and most attended funerals of all time in Mexican history? And it still is. Grew up in Dallas in the 80s, was a kid at the height of the Von Erichs, so yeah. Hey man, like I said, as popular as the Von Erichs are, I don't even think they hold a candle to El Santo. Hell, El Santo still makes friggin' money today, and he's been dead since the 80s. He's even buried with his mask, and yet he still makes over $2 million a year. And it's in 2026 still. His mask still sells a lot today. And his mask is just a silver mask, and he still makes a lot of money. His whole family does. Kerry Von Erich's death was an event here. Yeah, same with David. Of course, David Von Erich, in my opinion, would have been a world champion for the NWA. 100% would have been an NWA world champion. Down to the corner goes Jericho Jones, courtesy of the world champion, Mr. Amazing. Amazing as the world champion's only been pinned twice in this tournament, and he has only lost 2 matches by pinfall since coming back from a concussion that he suffered in Shockwave, which is the company that Amazing runs. Currently, it's no longer active due to some real-life problems, but I'm not getting into that here. But Amazing, he's only ever lost 2 matches by pinfall since coming back from that concussion. And he's the world champion, too. Which, of course, those 2 pinfalls came from the Matt Storm and Shawn Sanders. ROL always comes first. Yeah, I agree with that. No matter what, real life always comes first. I still remember when there was a hurricane that happened here. I was going to do a video that night, but nope. Can't do a video when there's a hurricane happening. Or not a hurricane, but it was just a massive storm. I mean, I live all the way in Canada, so definitely I don't get the huge storms, but it's definitely something sometimes. Big shot in the corner by Kate Cobra. Jones will continue the strikes, but Kate says, no, he's mine. Main event here for the first round of the playoffs. Be the last video before our next pay-per-view comes to play. Cobra thrown in the corner by Mr. Amazing. Cade Cobra, the brother of Devin. Oh, wait, the grip! Oiwa with the grip. The grip nails Jericho Jones. No. Close, but not enough for the win for Oiwa and Amazing off the grip. Yohei Oiwa, amazing prospect from Pro Wrestling Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, a former young lion. Then went to Pro Wrestling Noah and on his excursion learned lots from guys like Yoshinari Ogawa and Zack Sabre Jr. Also helped him as well when he came back from his excursion. Yutoku driver on the floor by Jones. Cover in the ring, kick out by Kate Cobra. A lot of people do not know that Yoshinari Ogawa is a hell of a trainer. We're talking about a guy that trained Zack Sabre Jr. Would have thought the guy that trained Zack Sabre Jr. is just a junior heavyweight. Big dropkick in the rain by Yohei Oiwa. Amazing's feeling it though. Amazing's got one of the nastiest power bombs in this company. Oh, the bite. Amazing's got the bite locked in. Jones has got nowhere to go. Jones might have to give up here. And Jones will be forced to tap out. That's why he's the world champion. Right there, that is why he is the world champion. Mr. Amazing picks up the win for him and Yohei Oiwa. They're moving on to round number 2. So Shockwave is moving on to round 2. The world champion gets his job done tonight and shows everyone here why he is the world champion. Yeah, Amazing might not be the most physically potent guy or the best looking man in the industry, but he's our world champion for a reason. He's a 2-time world champion, currently in the second reign for him, but tonight he showed why he's champion. It'd be crazy if he somehow retains the title and then wins the tag league. I mean, very interesting if that happens, if you ask me. 35% chance of storms here Friday through Wednesday. Jeez, wow. Big win for the world champ. He'll have to see what happens to him at the pay-per-view and for the rest of the tournament. Before we go, though, I always give shout-outs, too. Shout-outs to all the people in the chats tonight. Of course, people that also just came in for the first time. Blasphemous and SN Dawn. Always shout-outs to guys like Prince Macau, owner of Vita and some other stuff he's done. Shockwave, of course, definitely. Vampiro, Iron Taylor, Christopher. Shout out to my girlfriend, of course. She doesn't do stuff on here, but always shout out to my girlfriend. Not a problem, boys. Of course, I'm thinking about doing a pay-per-view. Oh, God, either tomorrow or Friday. I'm going to see if I can do it Friday instead of tomorrow. It'd be a little easier for myself because I don't work on Saturday. But if we do the Friday, it'll be a long pay-per-view, though. So hopefully you guys can all see it. It'll be a long show, but it's going to be a great one. And then, of course, the final shout-out goes to... I'm actually going to do a drive-in, by the way, on Saturday. That's why I'm not doing a video Saturday. Can't wait for that. Going to see the back rooms again for the second time, and maybe Scary Movie 6, depending on if I'm tired enough or not. And then that's really about all for tonight. Of course, great show for everyone here tonight to show up. Great seeing the chat as live as it always is. Hopefully you all can be here for the next pay-per-view coming up soon. Hopefully on Friday night. Hell of a show planned up. Every championship is on the line. 6-man Hell in a Cell World title match. And the finals of the tag team tournament and the rest that we'll be doing. And plus, the reveal of the Hooded Man. Hope you all enjoyed. Hell of a ride tonight. Can't wait for the pay-per-view. We'll see you next time. Later, folks.